Hello, it's Zofia Mazur, and today I would like to share with you very effective method to learn new words, foreign languages, correct spelling, math acquisition. So whatever you want to remember to the rest of your life. And I will share very effective method and simple one that you can do it every day, that you can put the timing that this is the time to learn whatever you want to learn, language or something related to math, like I said before. So you take a box, probably you have many boxes in your house, like I do, and the simple one. And then adjust the size of the box to the size of your cue cards. And the cue cards, make them like, buy them not too small, not too big, like you see in my hands, those cue cards, yeah. They are size, I guess, 5 by 3, but maybe you have cue cards already in your house. And then divide your box on 5 slots. So put 4 dividers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots. And on cue cards, put the words that you want to remember. For example, it's a foreign language and you are learning that language, and you put the words that you would like to learn and remember to the first slots. My suggestion is don't put so many words, because you're gonna be disappointed very quickly that you put too much work on yourself. So start with 10 words. 10 words gonna be a good start for you if you can learn those 10 words very quickly. So then you have 10 words that you would like to learn the meaning and remember, because they are foreign for you, so you would like to learn them. And you take that word and you test yourself if you still remember that word, because you wrote on the first card that word, on the back of the card the meaning of the word. And if you say the word and you know the meaning and you know how to write at the same time, then that word passed the exam. So you put that word in the second slot. And you do the same with every word and that you wrote it down. You remember that word, pass the exam, you put to the second slot, second grade, I want to say. But some words you study, you still don't remember them, and probably some words will stay in the first slot, they will not pass the exam. So that's gonna be work for that first day. And the next day or the second day, it would be probably the best idea to do it the second day. The second day, you start with the highest grade. So in your case, it's a second grade. And then you study those words again. If you remember still that word, it will pass the test, you put in the slot third. And you do the same with each word. If you don't remember that word, it has to come back to the grade first. And then you remember that word, pass the exam, and you put to the slot third. And then what you're gonna do, you did that test for your words, and you will have to start again with the words from the lower grade and study them again and try to put them if they pass the exam or not, so put to the next slot. And then some might stay in the grade first still because you have a hard time to remember, so leave them then. But some will pass that exam and they will go to the grade second. And then you leave it. This is the work done for today. And then next day come and you're gonna repeat the process again. But you're gonna start with the highest grade now, here the third one in our case. And you study those words. You remember that word, you test it, pass the grade, you put in the higher grade. You thought that you remember, but now you don't, so it has to come back to the grade first. So just you have to know that wherever the grade your word is, If you don't remember, it has to come back. Doesn't matter in which grade that word is. It has to come back to the grade first again. So that's the work for today. It's not done yet. You go to the next grade and you check those words from the grade second in our case, and you read them if they can right now pass your memory test. If you know the word and you remember, you pass to the next grade, or you don't, so they will have to come back to the grade first. So you do everything in that slot, that work. And then to finish the process, you will have to come back to the first slot and read those words again and pass them. If they pass the exam, go to a next slot and do that process until you do that work in every slot. So this is the work done for today. And then the next day, what you're gonna do? Which slot you're gonna start? The last one, wherever you have words in. And you start the process. If you remember from the slot fourth the word, good for you, hooray! And you put in the slot, the last slot. And then you go to the next slot of the words and you test them again. If they pass the exam, if not, they go back to the slot first. And if they do, they go to the next slot. And then you do the same with those words. So I don't want to complicate too much, but this is always for that day, the work for that day. And until you have all the words in the last slot, you know that all your words passed the exam, and now you remember. And then you can test yourself on the end with each word, if you remember or not, and you know what to do. If you remember, you just if you remember them all, you just put them all away and put here new words. But if you don't remember some of them, you know what to do. That repetition process will force your memory, not force you, but your memory to memorize that word, believe me, forever. And it's very easy process. It seems like when you get used to it and it's gonna be so fast, then the process of learning a new words in the language that you want to know, it's gonna be very, very fast. I hope that I was helping you to remember more, and I did not complicate your life. I know that we know many methods and it's hard to fit in the next one. And that's exactly with life. If we want to improve something and we don't know when to fit in with our time, that method and that repetition process, we won't use it. So each method, even if it's working, but we don't have a time to fit in our time, we won't even test if it's working or not. But believe me or not, if you start to use some of the methods and don't use many, because we know that humans can learn only one habit at the time. So if you are in the process to learn other habits, probably you won't be able to familiarize yourself with that habit. So just leave that for a while. Maybe, some in the next month or in 2 months, you will start to learn that process of remembering new words forever. But this is the very simple method, and I was using that method on the beginning when I came to Canada. I wanted to know more words, and it was so difficult for me, believe me, because not only I wanted to remember the word, but I wanted to remember how to write and how to pronounce, and that pronunciation was probably the biggest issue for me, and still is, like you hear. But you know, life is about improving. I believe that life is about improving, and I believe that that simple method can help us all to improve in every way. If you are strong with language and you are have a rich library of words, you become more powerful. So for today, the very effective method to easy way, maybe easy way, I would say that it's easy way to learn a new word forever.